Lack of a local license is a significant pitfall to consider, and you lack a license in the sister state, which could lead to legal consequences if something goes wrong. Potential liability is another consideration because, as a licensed contractor, insurance protects in case of accidents or damage. Working without a local license could leave someone financially liable. Insurance coverage is also a major consideration. The homeowner's or contractor's insurance may not cover work performed outside the licensed jurisdiction. Permit issues are relevant. Homeowner permits generally allow for relatives to assist, but different jurisdictions have varying regulations. Verify that the sister's local authority having jurisdiction permits relative involvement. Inspection challenges arise when an electrical inspection is performed by an authority having jurisdiction inspector who is not familiar with someone's work. This could lead to increased scrutiny or potential rework. Because of these concerns, there are several recommendations including declining the work. Due to the potential legal and liability risks, it's advisable to decline the work for safety and ethical reasons. Refer a local electrician. Instead of doing the work, recommend that the sister hire a licensed electrician in her state. Assistance can be provided from afar, and guidance and support is available. Review electrical plans, offer technical advice, and be present remotely to answer questions if needed. Document communication, and keep written records of any communication with the sister regarding the electrical work. This will help establish that there was no direct involvement in the installation. Benefits of declining or protecting a license. Working without a local license could jeopardize the license and livelihood in the home state. Avoiding legal consequences can be achieved, and no one will be held liable for any electrical issues that may arise from unauthorized work. Ensuring safety is paramount. Hiring a licensed electrician ensures that the electrical work is done properly and safely. Now going into greater detail, firstly, understand the legal ramifications of operating outside of licensed jurisdictions, that is, each state typically has its own electrical licensing board and associated regulations. These regulations are in place to protect the public by ensuring that individuals performing electrical work have met certain minimum standards of competency and are familiar with local codes and safety practices. Performing electrical work in a state where one is not licensed can result in fines, legal action, and even criminal charges, depending on the specific laws of that state. It's crucial to recognize that holding a license in one state does not automatically grant reciprocity or permission to work in another. Secondly, consider the liability issues that arise when working without a proper license. As a licensed contractor, insurance is maintained to protect against potential accidents, property damage, or injuries that may occur during the course of work. This insurance coverage is typically contingent upon operating within the boundaries of the licensing jurisdiction. If work is performed in a state where the license is not valid, the insurance company may deny coverage in the event of a claim, leaving the contractor personally liable for any resulting damages or legal expenses. Homeowners' insurance policies also often contain exclusions for work performed by unlicensed contractors, which could further complicate matters if something goes wrong. Thirdly, analyze the permit requirements and the role of the authority having jurisdiction. Electrical work generally requires obtaining a permit from the local authority having jurisdiction before work begins. This process is designed to ensure that the work complies with applicable electrical codes and safety standards. Homeowner permits are sometimes available, allowing homeowners to perform electrical work on their own property, but these permits often come with restrictions and limitations. One common restriction is that a homeowner must personally perform the work, and they may not be allowed to hire or supervise unlicensed contractors. The authority having jurisdiction will typically conduct inspections of the electrical work to verify compliance with code requirements, and if the work is not up to par, they may require corrections or even disconnect the power until the issues are resolved. It's important to understand the specific permit requirements in the jurisdiction where the work is being performed and to ensure that all necessary permits are obtained before commencing any electrical work. Fourthly, comprehend the differences in electrical codes and standards from state to state and even within different localities within a state. While the National Electrical Code serves as a basis for electrical installations throughout the United States, local jurisdictions may adopt amendments or supplements to the code to address specific regional needs or concerns. These local variations can cover a wide range of topics such as wiring methods, grounding requirements, and the types of materials that are permitted for use. Electrical codes and standards also undergo periodic updates, and it's essential to stay current with the latest revisions to ensure compliance. Working in an unfamiliar jurisdiction can present challenges in terms of understanding and adhering to local code requirements, and it may be necessary to consult with local electrical inspectors or code officials to clarify any questions or uncertainties. Fifthly, the potential for increased scrutiny during inspections if the authority having jurisdiction suspects that the work was not performed by a qualified electrician. Electrical inspectors are trained to identify potential safety hazards and code violations, and they may pay closer attention to work performed by individuals who are not licensed or familiar with local codes. This increased scrutiny can result in more frequent inspections, more detailed reviews of the work, and a greater likelihood of identifying deficiencies that need to be corrected. In some cases, the authority having jurisdiction may even require the electrical system to be completely rewired if they have serious concerns about the quality of the work. Sixthly, consider the ethical obligations as a licensed contractor. As a licensed contractor, one has a professional and ethical responsibility to ensure that all work is performed in a safe and competent manner and in compliance with applicable codes and regulations. Performing electrical work in a state where one is not licensed undermines the integrity of the licensing system and can create potential risks for the homeowner and the public. Even if the homeowner is willing to assume the risk, it's important to consider the long-term consequences of cutting corners or compromising safety standards. It's generally advisable to decline work that falls outside of one's area of expertise or that violates ethical or legal principles. Seventhly, explore alternative solutions such as providing remote guidance and support to the sister. If direct involvement in the electrical work is not feasible or advisable, it may be possible to provide assistance in other ways, such as reviewing electrical plans, offering technical advice, and answering questions remotely. This can help the sister make informed decisions and ensure that the work is performed safely and correctly, even if one is not physically present at the job site. However, it's important to clearly document the extent of the involvement and to avoid taking on any supervisory responsibilities that could expose someone to liability. Eighthly, recommend hiring a qualified and licensed electrician in the sister's state. The best way to ensure that electrical work is performed safely and in compliance with code requirements is to hire a qualified and licensed electrician who is familiar with local codes and practices. A licensed electrician will have the necessary training, experience, and insurance to handle the electrical work safely and effectively, and they will be able to obtain the necessary permits and coordinate with the authority having jurisdiction. While hiring a licensed electrician may cost more upfront, it can save money and headaches in the long run by avoiding potential code violations, safety hazards, and legal liabilities. Ninthly, if guidance is provided, document all communications with the sister regarding the electrical work. Maintaining a written record of all communications related to the electrical work can help protect oneself in the event of a dispute or legal claim. This record should include the dates and times of all conversations, emails, and other communications, as well as a summary of the topics discussed and any advice or recommendations provided. It's also important to clearly state that the involvement is limited to providing guidance and support and that someone is not assuming any responsibility for the actual electrical work. Tenthly, consider the potential impact on one's own license and reputation. Performing electrical work in a state where one is not licensed can jeopardize one's license and reputation in the state where the license is valid. Licensing boards often have the authority to take disciplinary action against licensees who violate the laws or regulations of other jurisdictions, and this could include suspension or revocation of one's license. In addition, engaging in unauthorized or unsafe electrical work can damage one's reputation and make it more difficult to obtain work in the future. 11thly, ensure that the sister understands the importance of safety and code compliance. Electrical work can be dangerous if it's not performed correctly, and it's essential to prioritize safety and code compliance above all else. Explain to the sister the potential hazards of electrical work, such as electric shock, fire, and equipment damage, and emphasize the importance of following all applicable codes and regulations. Make sure the sister understands that cutting corners or compromising safety standards can have serious consequences and that it's always better to err on the side of caution. 12th, review the homeowner's insurance policy to determine if it covers electrical work performed by unlicensed individuals. Homeowners' insurance policies often contain exclusions for work performed by unlicensed contractors, and if the sister hires someone who is not licensed, she may not be covered in the event of an accident or property damage. Review the policy carefully to determine the scope of coverage and to understand any limitations or exclusions that may apply. It may also be advisable to contact the insurance company to discuss the situation and to obtain clarification on the coverage requirements. 13th, advise the sister to obtain multiple bids from licensed electricians before making a hiring decision. Getting multiple bids allows the sister to compare prices, services, and qualifications and to choose the electrician who best meets her needs. It's important to check the electrician's license and insurance credentials and to ask for references from previous clients. The sister should also ask the electrician about their experience with similar projects and their familiarity with local codes and regulations. 14th, if the sister decides to proceed with the electrical work herself, provide detailed instructions and guidance on how to perform the work safely and correctly. If the sister is determined to perform the electrical work herself, provide detailed instructions and guidance on how to perform the work safely and correctly. This should include step-by-step instructions, diagrams, and illustrations, as well as information on the tools and materials that will be needed. Emphasize the importance of following all safety precautions, such as turning off the power before starting any work and using appropriate personal protective equipment. Also, advise the sister to consult with a qualified electrician if she encounters any difficulties or uncertainties. 15th, be aware of the potential for future problems or liability even if the electrical work appears to be done correctly. Even if the electrical work appears to be done correctly, there is always the potential for future problems or liability. Electrical systems are complex and can deteriorate over time, and hidden defects or code violations may not be immediately apparent. If problems arise in the future, it may be difficult to determine who is responsible or to obtain compensation for damages. For this reason, it's always best to hire a licensed electrician who is insured and bonded and who will stand behind their work. 16th, consider the impact on resale value of the property. Improper or unpermitted electrical work can negatively impact the resale value of the property. Potential buyers may be hesitant to purchase a property with known electrical issues, and they may demand a lower price or require the seller to make repairs before closing. In some cases, unpermitted electrical work may even need to be removed or brought up to code before the property can be sold. Hiring a licensed electrician ensures that the electrical work is done properly and in compliance with code requirements, which can help maintain or increase the resale value of the property. 17th, ensure that the sister understands the importance of obtaining all necessary permits and inspections. Obtaining the necessary permits and inspections is essential to ensure that the electrical work is done safely and in compliance with code requirements. Permits provide a record of the work that has been performed, and inspections verify that the work meets applicable standards. Failing to obtain permits or inspections can result in fines, legal action, and the need to redo the work at personal expense. It's important to work with a licensed electrician who is familiar with local permit requirements and who can handle the permit process on the sister's behalf. 18th, recommend that the sister consult with an attorney or legal professional if she has any concerns about liability or legal issues. If the sister has any concerns about liability or legal issues, it's advisable to consult with an attorney or legal professional who can provide guidance on her rights and obligations. An attorney can review the relevant laws and regulations, explain the potential risks and liabilities, and advise the sister on the best course of action. Legal advice can be particularly helpful if the sister is considering performing electrical work herself or if she is unsure about her legal responsibilities. 19thly, be aware of the potential for unforeseen problems or complications during the electrical work. Electrical work can be unpredictable, and unforeseen problems or complications may arise during the course of the project. For example, existing wiring may be damaged or outdated, or hidden hazards may be discovered. It's important to be prepared for these possibilities and to have a plan for addressing them. A licensed electrician will have the experience and expertise to handle unforeseen problems safely and effectively and to minimize any potential disruptions or delays. 20thly, stress the importance of using high-quality materials and equipment. Using high-quality materials and equipment is essential to ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Cheap or substantive materials may fail prematurely or create safety hazards, such as electrical shorts or fires. It's important to use materials and equipment that are listed or certified by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories, and to follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation and use. A licensed electrician will be able to recommend the appropriate materials and equipment for the project and to ensure that they are installed correctly. 21stly, recommend that the sister create a detailed plan and budget for the electrical work before starting the project. Creating a detailed plan and budget can help the sister stay organized and avoid unexpected costs or delays. The plan should include a list of all the electrical work that needs to be done, a timeline for completing the work, and a budget for materials, labor, and permits. It's important to be realistic about the costs and to factor in a contingency for unforeseen expenses. A licensed electrician can help the sister develop a plan and budget that is tailored to her specific needs and circumstances. 22ndly, ensure that the sister has a clear understanding of the scope of work to be performed by the electrician and the associated costs. Before hiring an electrician, it's important to have a clear understanding of the scope of work to be performed and the associated costs. Get a detailed written estimate from the electrician that includes a breakdown of the labor, materials, and permit fees. Make sure the estimate specifies what work is included and what is not, and ask the electrician to explain any assumptions or exclusions. It's also important to discuss payment terms and to agree on a payment schedule before starting the work. A written agreement can help prevent misunderstandings and disputes down the road. 23rdly, advise the sister to check the electrician's references and online reviews before making a hiring decision. Checking the electrician's references and online reviews can help the sister get a better sense of the electrician's qualifications, experience, and reputation. Contact previous clients and ask them about their experience with the electrician, including the quality of the work, the timeliness of the service, and the professionalism of the staff. Also, check online review sites such as Yelp and Google reviews to see what other customers have said about the electrician. Keep in mind that online reviews can be biased or inaccurate, so it's important to consider them in conjunction with other information such as references and credentials. 24thly, recommend that the sister obtain a written warranty or guarantee for the electrical work. A written warranty or guarantee can provide peace of mind and protect the sister in the event of defects or problems with the electrical work. A warranty typically covers defects in materials or workmanship for a specified period of time, such as 1 year. A guarantee may offer additional protection, such as a promise to repair or replace the work if it does not meet certain standards or expectations. Review the warranty or guarantee carefully to understand the scope of coverage and any limitations or exclusions that may apply. Also, make sure the electrician is licensed and insured, as this can provide additional protection in the event of problems or liabilities.